Hi, and welcome to another session of Taleo Social Sourcing, Configuring Social Sourcing. In this video, you will learn how to configure the messaging, dictionary, pick lists, and facets section of your social sourcing site. Let's go to the configuration page of your Taleo environment and click under Quick Access, Social Sourcing. This is going to bring you into your social sourcing site. We're going to click on Admin and then Configure Settings. Today we're going to talk through messaging, dictionary, pick lists, and facets. Let's start with messaging. The messaging section allows you to create or edit message templates in the social sourcing system. The first section is going to be the message header and message footer, as well as the message signature of your message templates. You can scroll up and down to view all the content. Notice it is very heavily coded with HTML, but the text is very long and hard to read. You can click on the Edit pencil, which will expand the window and make it a little bit easier to read. However, one of the things I like to do is I copy the whole thing and I put it over in Notepad. It makes it much easier to read. This requires you have a little bit more than basic knowledge of HTML functionality and coding. This is going to be the header of all your messages. So it talks about the colors, the fonts, the margins, the padding of all of your message templates. So this is going to be the header of your message template. If at any point in time you need to go in and change the color, these are the hexadecimal codes associated with the colors. You would want to change that to the hexadecimal code associated to your branding. Please be very careful when changing the message template header and footers, because if you do remove the HTML tagging, your message header and message footer will not display correctly. You also have a message signature, which is just basic text. This is how your emails will be signed. Underneath broadcast messaging, you have the ability to use or enable talent community job alerts, as well as this use composer functionality. The use composer functionality is normally turned off by default. However, if you do turn it on, it does allow a recruiter who is potentially setting up a campaign or sending emails out based on a talent community. It allows them to edit the messages that they're sending, and they have the ability to edit the classic message as well as the modern message. The classic messages tend to have a heading, they have a salutation, they have body text, and that body text will include list of jobs and a complimentary close and identification. For each job that shows up in that message template, it provides the job title as a link to additional details, as well as the location and the job category. However, the modern template has a little bit more information. It has all of the same data as the classic template, but it also has things where you can potentially list a video if one is available, whether it's a hot or a new job. It also has the posting date as well as a view and recommend button. And if we scroll down, you'll see the classic 3 up at the top, the modern 3 down at the bottom. Each one is specific based on the selected jobs or the targeted jobs, as well as if it's based on talent community. You also have 2 landing page campaign templates as well. Scrolling further down, We've got campaign template colors. Here's where you can change the hexadecimal color to match your company's branding. You can change the button background, border, and text, as well as any links that display and what color is associated to the link. Lastly, you have automated messaging. These can be enabled or disabled. They can also be edited. Again, the messages are very heavily coded with HTML, as well as it has some of the dictionary tags, which we'll talk about momentarily. You can update these, but please be careful to keep the HTML coding as well as the dictionary tags. You also have a to, a from alias, as well as a subject. They also have a preview button here. So if you click the preview button, it'll actually show you what this will look like. Keep in mind, all of these can be updated. However, please take special note that some of these messages are similar to messages that are sent out of Taleo. So you'll want to make sure that you are looking at the messages that you have configured to send out of Taleo as well as social sourcing to make sure there's no overlap or that people are receiving the same message out of two different systems. You also have endorsement notifications where you can notify the recruiter if an endorsement is made, or you can send it to a common email address. I'm going to scroll back up to the top and let's go into dictionary. So when we go into dictionary, actually before we go into dictionary, you'll know that there's some tags that we've seen in some of these notifications. Anything that has two either hashtags or the pound symbol in front of or behind the text is considered a dictionary tag. I'm going to go over into dictionary. You'll see that there's the ability to have the tag name as well as the tag value. If you don't know the tag names that you want to update, you can type in and do a search, and it'll pull back all of the tag names with that value in it. You can search based on language. You can also search based on site. If you change a tag, some of them can be changed at the site level because you might want something different if you have more than one site. I can click on Edit to change the value. And again, if there's an option to change it into a different language or to change it at a different site, that option will be delivered underneath the text box. If you don't know the tag name, one of the really helpful things that does come with social sourcing is this download translations option. If I were to click on the download report, an Excel document with every single data tag will be displayed. It lists them in every language available. So you can use this Excel document to do a keyword search to find the tag you need to change. Let's scroll back up and let's change over to Picklists. Now, Picklists are the objects that you can use to sort things or filter jobs. These are out of the box. So if I come in and I pick on job category and click select, these are going to be all of the job categories that are available to me to use as a facet to search for jobs. However, you'll notice right off the bat that these are out of the box. These get scraped from your Taleo environment. If you want to use UDFs as pick lists to therefore use as facets, you actually have to create an Oracle SR to enable UDF synchronization. Once that synchronization occurs, you will then scroll down and see all of your UDFs at the bottom. You can then use those facets to those pick lists to update the facets to use for searching. You can also download to Excel if you'd like to view all of the different values of your pick lists. I'm going to go ahead and click on Facets. Facets are going to be the options that your user has to search for jobs. Generally, they fall down the left-hand side of the page on social sourcing, but if you have branding file or CSS that makes that fall into a different location on your page, it may be different. But generally, you have employee or referrer facets, you have job facets, and you have talent community facets. Your talent community facets, when a candidate signs up to be a part of the talent community, these are the things that will be asked of your candidate. Anything in green are the fields that are enabled and active. Anything in red is not enabled and not active. If you click the arrow, it will move it up to the top. If you click the arrow down, it'll move it to the bottom. If you click the cog, you can actually see what the name of the field is called, where it's mapped to, the pick list table that it is coming from, as well as an auto suggest. If I scroll back up and I look for job facets, these are going to be the facets that are available or the search options that are available to me as an external candidate when I try to search for jobs on your page. If I want to create a new facet, I can do that. I give it a name. I pick the pick list table that it's coming from. Remember, if I want to use UDFs from your Taleo environment, you have to create that UDF synchronization. It's an SR that must be enabled in Oracle. And also I can do the auto suggest. If I want to move them into different order, I can click and drag and it'll move them above or below each other. And if I do have any UDFs, it won't be green. It will actually show in blue. So you would see a blue line here, and that lets you know it's a UDF that is being used as a facet. In a different session, I'll show you how these look when actually visible to the candidate. Please tune in for our next session on social sourcing, where we learn additional information on how to configure.